Welcome to our van tour.
So it is a bit awkward getting in here. You do have to kind of slide the table out and then come in through this way, and same thing if you want to go all the way around. But once you're in here, it's pretty good. The table is a little wobbly like this, even though we do have like a sturdy mount. It's actually made on like boats, so like I guess it goes with the moving of the waves, so it works for us. But we got our pillows, our cushions that we just kind of move around when we set the bed up, but it's pretty spacious back here. This is how we pop the bench down. This is usually Danny's job, so we have to move some of the cushions out of the way. Just like that. And I have to shimmy my way out. So then we have this extra sturdy mount that we just pop underneath so it doesn't tip and it holds up more of our weight. So we just stick that under there. So our bedroom window has a nice screen. It's open right now, but it just slides. It's just one of those RV windows. And then we got these blackout curtains that I cut, put some Velcro, and we got this curtain rod that just is easy to slide. Over here we got our TV, which was Danny's idea to install, and I'm glad we did because it was actually coming really handy.
Yeah, initially Tara she's like, we don't need a TV, and it's okay. It was just like I wanted one, so I always had I always envisioned it to be something like this. When we're sitting down and eating or so, we could lift up the table and we can have it out, or we can lay on the back up against the rear doors, and you can pull it out from the wall like this. And yeah, they're just mounted, just a wall mount that collapses, so you can put it up against the wall, which is when we're driving, that's what we do. We just have it like this. It also can turn, so you can adjust it, because obviously with the way that the van's walls are, they come in on themselves, so you'll kind of have to adjust it as so. Yeah, we just keep some cords and some electronic stuff here and up there on those shelves, and it's just for, and this door keeps doing this.
We should show the LED strips that you installed.
Oh yeah, we can do that. Yeah, this door, you can do. Tamara probably has already mentioned it. It's like the bane to our existence, because it's the push to close, and it's just like it's so
IKEA.
We just had to turn on the inverter, and I don't know why these ones aren't turning on.
Do you need the controller?
I don't know. These were working, but now they're not. And they went, you could see that they went here, around like the wands. But where I really wanted them anyways, because they were like too long, is I didn't even necessarily want them over here. So it's I'm not like, even though it's kind of funny, I'm not too worried. I got it to where I wanted it, which is just here underneath these.
Yeah.
Just for some
at night when we're laying
for
in the
reading,
bed.
Mood lighting when you're watching a movie. But yeah, this is our.
Explain all the shelves too.
We have some shelves, some cubbies. So we made, well, that one we didn't make, but Tamara painted and used a stencil, and it looks really cool.
That's the new addition.
You could probably turn on the light so it's easier to see it too. This one we made by hand, and it just has some shelves for our phones, and then it has the USBs with the regular plugins for outlets, but 3 USBs and a USB-C. And then these shelves are really handy. My mom just had some shelves that she wasn't.
Those are our. No, we made those.
No,
Yeah.
is those the?
This is the one that your mom.
Oh, hilarious! I forgot. But yeah, that's
Yeah,
right.
we made those
That's
ones.
right.
You made those. You should own up to it.
Yeah, I just made some shelves, and these are actually really handy because we needed stuff for like our charger or our attachments for our compressor or just various stuff that you can keep up there, and they never really fall out. We never had any issues with that, so they're good, and they're out of sight, out of mind. You don't really notice them. So the overhead shelves, they all just open. They can stay open. They have little pistons to them, and it was pretty.
Those are my clothes.
Honestly,
I have 2 drawers. You have one in the back.
Honestly, it was pretty like hard to install them. It was like a lot of effort, but because it was hard to make them equal, because you have 2 pistons, right? One here, and like you can measure it, but it's just I found it really hard. Personally, didn't do it, but we got it done, and this is exactly what we wanted. And we could have like notched out little handles or even put little handles, but we just went for just like none. I personally think it looks nice the way that they are. We don't have a router. If we had a router, what we could do is just go on the back of these and just router like a little like latch so that there'd be a gap between here so you could stick your fingers in. That's what I would do. But I like the minimalistic, and what we've already encountered.
Yeah.
This snags on my pants all the time, or belt loops or things like that.
So you would be hitting your head if they were.
Oh yeah, they come. If we use these out, they only come out about maybe a 1/2 inch or a 3/4 of an inch. But you're gonna lift your head from here. We're already hitting our heads on these, and we did our best. Like I've seen van lifers that had even bigger cabinets that hang lower. We're tall. I didn't want to do that, so I like tried to get as much space for storage, but at the same time I wanted to be comfortable in here as well. So, and it's not comfortable if you're smoking your head on stuff, and we still do from time to time.
Yeah.
But overall, we can stand in this. This is where we have our I don't know, we just built some Lego just for like some flair. I got Tamara the Simba for a Valentine's Day gift, and then we both got the Wally and the Eve recently, and just something to have some flair.
So we have our battery monitor here. It's at 100%, 200 amp hours. Right now it's not charging from the sun, otherwise it would show like an up arrow. We got 13 volts. Yeah, make this a little brighter. Not drawing any amps, so this thing hasn't really been that accurate on our journey. The only thing that we find really works is the voltage, but the battery seems to always stay at 100%. It doesn't seem to drop, which is maybe the way that we set it up or the wires, but we just go off the voltage anyways. We have a new addition to the van, the weenie skateboard, but I'm going to talk about our cabinet situation here. So we made the smaller one filled with our utensils and our knives and everything. At the top, the second drawer is our bowls and plates, so we can easily access it. Cups as well, smoothie bowls. We got measuring cups there. The third drawer coming down here, where we keep our pots and pans, our strainer. Alright, this is our drying mat. So it's just like, yeah, our cookingware. And then the last drawer, which I also got a lock for it, because this one comes open the most, and it slams, and it's the heaviest, which doesn't make sense, but this is where we keep our air fryer, cutting board, our shopping bags, extra containers for leftover food. So to lock it up, I just installed this, and it just twists, and so now it doesn't come open. This is our countertop that we pretty much glued 3 pieces of wood together and stained it, and then we cut out the sink insert here, so it has a lip to lift it up. Our sink faucet from Amazon, it swivels. You can also detach it. And our backsplash is just peel and stick stickers, so it's not real tiling. We didn't want to add more weight in here or more work than necessary that we don't know how to do. We also don't have a stone cutter, so this just works just fine. So we have our junk drawer here. Pretty self-explanatory. We just keep our spare towels, matches, garbage bags. We got some coasters under there. Underneath the junk drawer is where we keep our fire extinguisher, garbage can, our cooking stove, and our soap. In the center here is where we have our water tanks. So our sink is also installed here. When it comes down, we got a 15-gallon water jug, freshwater tank, and then we got a 5-gallon gray water. So the sink tube goes into this, and we have to dump this quite regularly because it's pretty small. But we also have our electrical system set up here with our pump and our tubing going to the fresh water, so it collects it from here, sucks it up into the pump, and it goes right back into the sink up top. We have a switch on this side to turn it on and off. This is where we store our fridge. It's a little pulled out now because it's broken and we're waiting for a part to come in. They think it's the compressor, but usually it's just like flush with here. It's pushed in more, but it's pretty spacious. I believe it's 60 liters. We just have some water in there just for storage purposes. It doesn't actually keep them cool right now. But this is our little freezer, and it's a pretty spacious fridge. We can store quite a bit of food when everything is up and running. When it's working, it shows like how cold it is, and you can adjust the temperature, turn it on and off, blah blah blah. Pretty straightforward RV fridge. Coming down here, we just have a basket of crafts. So I like to crochet, so I just take my yarn on the road with me. We got like sketchbooks, so that's what's in that basket. Here we have an upgrade. This is currently our toilet in here. I don't really want to open it up. It is cleaned out, but it still has this like smell to it. Okay, I'll open it. It smells a little bit like sulfur, even though we've literally scrubbed this thing cleaned. We have baking soda in here. Yeah, I'm gonna close that. I usually spray it with Febreze. There you go. Yeah. But this is why we got the tub, or what is this called? The storage container, because we used to just have our toilet out sitting underneath this section. And would you be surprised that one night I was walking back here and I'm like, why is it wet on the floor? Because our toilet spilled out. Luckily, it was manageable, and we did manage to soak up the pee water. So gross, but we've learned our lesson. We got this tub now, so we don't have to worry about it anymore. But yeah, we just keep our toilet in here. So we have our lovely desk design with my gaming chair how it stays in is we discovered that the chair arms kind of just, we discovered that the chair arms pop down, so it just slides in, and we have our laundry basket under there. Now we are on a hill right now, so I'm gonna be sliding backwards. So we were initially thinking about putting a bench seat here, but since we already have one at the back, we opted out for a fixed bed. Wanted the bench back there so you can open the doors when you're in a nice beach or something and then have your dinner over here. So we decided to put a desk up here instead. I'm glad that we did, because we actually really use this if we need to edit or something. Got my little mouse pad for my wrist, for my carpal tunnel. I don't think I have that. This is the new addition to the side. So we're gonna be collecting magnets from different states or parks that we've gone to. So I just screwed this magnetic board and the magnets just stick on. And as you can see, it's pretty filled up already. So clearly I have to get more. And then we have our wands over here. We have He Who Shall Not Be Named. And then we have Dumbledore's wand from Fantastic Beasts. We got these in Universal a few years back. Coming over onto the other side, we also have more of our artwork. So we have our bear that I painted. And then Danny painted this moose. We have a postcard from Zion. This is our wedding topper that I just cut off the bottom, and then we just stuck it on here with Velcro. Got a little Jurassic Park music box on a little shelf here. Rocket the Raccoon. This is a Christmas ornament, but we put it there instead. We got Chunka there, and then another Rocket plushie. Like, can you guess what our van is named after? Yep, it's Rocket. Another plug for the desk area here. Also have our main RV window, like a bus RV window. It pops out like this. So this is our food pantry. There's not much in it right now. Just a few cereals and spices, but it's usually filled with stuff. Down below is where we keep our shoes, our basketball, our football. We got some extra perishables in there, canned goods, and some oils. Salad dressings are usually tucked away in these little cubbies.
So now moving to the back, we have our garage. So we do have a trickle charger hooked up for when we actually have used it a couple times too, or just for hooking up. What we typically do when if we're not using the trickle chargers, you can just tie it up there so that you don't have a cord just dangling around. That's the electrical. We'll talk about that next. We have the compressor back here so that our hose, it's great where it's positioned. It's easy to access when you need to use it for a variety of things. And if we just need something simple like pumping up our tires, we do have a long enough hose to get all 4 tires. And it's kind of like center in the back, so it's like the perfect for the hose. This is where we keep the tools for anything that we really need.
And our bike rack there.
Yeah, the bike rack. We have to set this down every time, which is kind of annoying. Like, its positioning when you have it closed.
Don't judge our rusted door.
Right here, every time. And when you have the bikes on, it's like, it can be kind of in the way. But the thing is, this bike rack was not expensive. It was expensive in the sense that we still had to pay, like, you know, a decent chunk of change, but not like the really fancy ones that I'm sure you could get instead. And then this, I guess I didn't mention, this is also the Shoreline. So that's how we can hook up the trickle charger and charge our home battery or various other things, just from plugging it in here. It works essentially just like an extension cord, but it's in between the our van and the outdoors. So yeah, and I put it on the really crappy rusty door because if I made a mistake when I'd cut out the hole, we always were planning on replacing that door at some point anyways. So
this is our electrical system. It actually takes up quite a bit of room, so we had to really accommodate for that. We have our Power Queen battery here, which is 200 amp hours. Hooked up to, we have a Renogy charge controller, which runs off the solar panel. And then this is our fuse box for our DC power, so all the 12 volts. We got some fuses in here, bus bars. I'm just briefly going over it because we do have a detailed electrical video if you want to check that out. We have 2 solar panels, 100 watt each. So right now it gets the job done for what we need. It runs our blender, our air fryer. There are times where it does drain our battery, and that's why we have the trickle charger.
the TV drains a lot, or like
That
the TV
too, yeah.
if you're hooking stuff up and using it for like multiple hours. For a
Yeah.
couple hours, it's not a big deal.
But with like the solar panels, the sun, like it does charge it pretty well. Also have an inverter here, a 2000 watt. This thing is a beast. This is the breaker box for it.
It's labeled, so we know. We labeled everything. Everything's organized, so we know where and everything is.
Yeah, see, these are all labeled because that would be a nightmare if something wasn't working. You had to figure out which wire belongs to what. So we do have vents also down here that run out into this central area. We have one over there because this kicks up a lot of heat.
This is what they look like. They look like. Move this out of the way. That's what it looks like.
Yeah, it's just a vent.
Just a vent.
And also behind the charge controller, we drilled out a bunch of holes so the airflow can also go out here and then disperse from the back wall. So at the front of that separates the cabin from the rest, we just have this blackout curtain, so it's full floor length. And I added these Velcro strips, so we just go like this so no freaks can peek in on us at night. Either side as well, it's Velcroed to the corners here too. It adds a lot of light when opened because of the cabin, but at night it really darkens this place. I mean, it's already dark at night. During the day, it really darkens it up with these closed, but at night it secures it so no one can look in when the lights are on. And behind the passenger seat, we just have this little organizer. So this is where we keep our hose to fill in our fresh water. We got this little dustpan so we can sweep out the crumbs and everything. Just some extra garbage bags, Febreze. That's that. We just keep this curtain closed during the day anyways when we're parked on the street. So also to give our counter more room, we installed this leftover MDF that we had. So it just gets propped up on 2 little latches and then it just clicks to fold down. This is our fan that runs off the 12 volts. So it just pops open like this, and then it has high, medium, low out speeds, and then low and high sucking the air in. This thing is a lifesaver when it comes to cooking stuff, especially if you have propane. and also if it's really hot in here. And then these are just our ceiling lights. We have 8 of them installed. Super bright in here. Also 2 lights underneath for the kitchen.
So Tamara talked a little bit about this one. Just kind of extends the countertop space. This one is a little super janky. I was gonna say a little janky, but super janky. With that said, I've actually used this a total of 1 time, and it was recently. Because I was working, and so I just sat my iPad up right here with my keyboard, and I was able to do something for work. Part of my job is I'm inspecting houses, and so I was able to drive like off away a couple, like away down the street, and still just be able to quickly do that. So that's not the reason why we installed it. It's just we installed it just for extra space, but it's janky, but it works. Oh, you're still filming, and I did that weird thing.
Well, thanks for coming along on our.
Oh no!
Thanks for coming along on
Any more
our
questions?
van tour.
I'm sorry. I'll done. You did that so you're like.
Thanks for coming along on our van tour. It's come a long way. Our 2 years of working on it, essentially, and we're pretty proud of the outcome. Still a lot to fix in it, little tweaks here and there, but it's pretty good
Yeah, it's awesome.
for our first build. Welcome to our van tour.
Welcome to the crib.
Welcome to our van tour.
I don't know what I was doing. Welcome to our van
tour. Welcome to our tour. Welcome to our van tour.
I slipped.
Welcome to our van tour.
What is so funny?
Because you didn't come in until the van, so you're like, van tour. Welcome to our van tour.
Welcome to the crib.